What's going on? A pluses, nerd mixes. It is your boy, Indy Uchiha, and of course, Turbo Stewart itself. This is weird because I think we only did one of these before, like a midweek hero report.
Yeah, and I wasn't even there for that one. So this is my first time doing the midweek A+ hero report.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. We got a lot of topics to cover. Minimal time because it's midweek. We got things to do, adult stuff. We got to be adults. We can't just be enjoying everything that's going on all the time. But thankful for everybody that's here to join us right now.
Indeed. I think. Oh, we got two. Cool. For a brief moment, it was at 0, but now it's at 2. So
yeah,
I
think the Facebook hicked up on us. That's what happened. But before we get into honorable mentions, let's go ahead and say hi to everybody that popped in because there's been people waiting since like 5:35, man. Like we got some diehards here, like Jericho Gonzalez, Michael Rhymes, Naza, because I'm going to brutalize your first name and I apologize for that. Nicole Robertson, Francois Dupont, Gabriel Glasgow, Morgan Hutchison, Carter Matthews, and Tarek the Mofo Knight. I feel like we have a lot of A+ more phenomenal, you know what I'm saying, hangover coming over here for this today. They probably think it's like some Power Rangers news breaking, but we might talk about something like that if it gets to it. So how you been, Stuart?
I've been good. I actually do have a Power Rangers honorable mention thing.
Get right into it.
Slightly disappointed, yeah. slightly disappointing though, because it was Austin St. John went live earlier today, and I thought he was going to be talking about like kind of the big thing going on with him being in trouble with, I believe like the IRS is like kind of the main thing because it's all about a fraud, but ended up being like that for 4 minutes of him being like, yeah, just keep an open mind. It's not all what it seems. But he doesn't explain his side. I mean, I get it. There's legal issues. He's probably not allowed to, so I totally get it. But it was like so disappointed because it was disappointing because he really kind of hyped it up, making it seem like he was really going to go over everything, and it really was just kind of like, yeah, I don't believe everything you hear. That's about it.
Yeah, I think that was more of a situation where the statement that was put out by his team and saying that he had trusted some individuals that mismanaged his money, and that's what this is tied up into because it's not just him, it's a bunch of individuals, and he's like just lumped into it. He's just the name that stands out, where you have to vet them people that you work with, because if they mishandle your money, you can end up getting in trouble. There's plenty of other famous people, especially musicians, that we see all the time, that they have lawyers and different accountants working for them, and money comes up missing or somebody does something wrong and then they have to pay for it later. So there was a question that I don't think I put into the live viewer questions that basically asked, how do we feel about that? Do we think he's going to miss the 30th anniversary? Do we think he's done with cons? No, because everybody is innocent until proven guilty. And I think this is more going to be of he's going to go in, he's going to have some type of paperwork that shows that he had no knowledge of what was being done with the funds and that money was being mismanaged, because it's very easy that somebody could have applied for the loan in his name and he never saw the money.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and like the whole thing too is that if you hire a legal team to handle it, it's kind of it sucks because you're kind of like meant to trust that they're going to do it the right way, that they're going to handle that money the legitimate way. So like when you kind of find out like, oh, now I'm in trouble because this guy whose job it's literally to do this exact thing, because this person messed up, now I'm in trouble for it, is what it like kind of sounds like it could end up being.
Yeah, definitely. I got a baby going crazy in the background. Yeah, so I think in all, he's going to end up getting out of this. It's just that, you know what I'm saying? For those who are fans of him, you know what I'm saying? Stand by his side, and the truth's going to come out later. It's kind of like with the Johnny Depp thing. I mean, when your name gets cleared, your name's going to get cleared. So we'll see what happens, man.
I mentioned this to Adam, but I really hope that gets turned into like a comedy sometime in the future. Like someone actually makes like a reimagining of that whole courtroom case, making it like a courtroom comedy series.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just the skits that they have with Momoa when they're cutting them in are just that's gold right there. Like it's crazy. I'm loving every bit of that. That is a poop show, but it's interesting to watch. You got any more honorable mentions you want to talk about?
No, that was pretty much it for me.
That was the same thing I was going to bring up. So I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's funny.
So I think we're good on that. But we do have some content to get to, you guys. I think the way I got it ordered is we're gonna start off with the DC stuff. So let's get to it. It feels like I've been a while since I've been in charge of this. I hope I don't mess up.
You're doing great so far.
All right, man. Who's ready for Stargirl?
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm ready for Stargirl. Are you ready for Stargirl?
Well, dude, you know what? I've been praising the show since I feel like maybe my only critique was that the first 2 episodes were hard to get into because you could tell the show was originally meant to be like a binge type of show, not like a show you watch weekly. So that was my only criticism, because once you get past those first 2 episodes, it's pretty much one of the best superhero shows on television, to my opinion.
I have to agree with you there, and I'm glad it's one of the shows that survived the axing. So, DC Stargirl, Brec Bassinger teases season 3 mystery and what's next for the CW's slowest burn relationship ever. What Brec Bassinger shared with TV Line this morning about DC Stargirl season 3 is an absolute killer. Speaking with us on the red carpet ahead of CW's annual upfront presentation to advertisers, Bassinger was first invited to revisit her favorite moment from last season, which required a bit of think, given how long ago it was filmed. She then got to shedding a bit of light on how things are going for the briefly busted up, now reconstituted JSA when season 3 opens this fall, now airing on Wednesdays. I got to get used to that day it's going to be airing on. Courtney's portrayer gave us an update on Cindy's bid to join the JSA and how having both the Crocs living next door and the shades still lingering around town speaks to season 3's frenemies thing. Bassinger then came forth with a bit of nudging with a proactive reveal about the long-awaited new season's true thing. You know what? I'm just going to say it. Murder mystery, and how evil and good are going to live in the town together and figure out who the murderer is. Wrapping up our bubbly convo, Bassinger spoke about the enigmatic Mr. Bones visit to Blue Valley. What's up with this Court and Cameron? You know, that kiss, that shouldn't happen. I mean, it's epic levels of slow. Just go ahead and just get it over with. And the cosmic staff's puppy dog like confusion about who his new owner is now that Starman, who Joe McHale has been upgraded to series regular, is back in the picture. Then what better way to close things out but mad props to Buddy the dog, played by Tank. How do you feel about a murder mystery? I don't think that's really been done for a season as far as CW shows go.
At least not when it comes to the Arrowverse. I think this is a cool direction to take it because, last season we had kind of the horror feel to it. So with this one being a murder mystery, I feel especially when you have so many supervillains and superheroes kind of living in the same town, and not necessarily being enemies, but also not necessarily being friends. I feel like the way you could really have fun with this is just have one person that gets murdered and then the mystery all around it, have it be a character that somehow connects to all of them. And they all have their own kind of methods of wanting to go about solving it. You got the Justice Society wanting to do it by the books, but if it involves the Crocs, which one way I think would be very interesting is if the victim of the murder mystery ends up being Artemis, their kid, because then, they're not going to do things by the books at all, and I feel like that would majorly clash with the Justice Society, even though they're after, the same thing. They're going to go about it in very extreme different ways. So that's something that they could totally play with. Now, I don't think that'll be exactly what happens, but just that dynamic that you have there, you could have the superheroes and villains with the same goal, but the way they go about it is going to be what makes them really clash. And I think that could be a really cool way to really make the overall threat, which I'm assuming it's going to be like Mr. Bones and his whole organization, it'll just make it like that much more of a struggle for them to face it. Because how are they going to face the big threat when they can't even stop, like, you know, fighting against each other?
Man, that'd be crazy. Like, because the Cross are gonna react like Moon Knight, Batmanish. Like, they're gonna go terrorize people in order to figure out what happened, and then you're gonna have the JSA running around like flashing them. Oh, we can't hurt anybody. We have to make sure that everybody's okay. We even have to save the bad guy. I don't know how I feel about this. But the show's been good so far, so I'm gonna trust the route they're going with it. And I think the acting is so well that even with the murder mystery theme, that they'll be able to get over it. And they cannot miss the chance for somebody to be wearing an Among Us t-shirt.
Okay, that's going to be fun. If anyone's going to wear one, though, you know who it's going to be, right?
Who?
It's got to be Mike. It's got to be Mike who wears the Among Us t-shirt, because he's totally the kind of character that would definitely play Among Us.
Definitely. And then be Among Us, and then everybody just walking around calling everybody sus. Like, that is so sus. Yeah. That's all they got to do. But doing something like this gives me like a Stranger Things type feel, or anything like that. Gabriel says, are you guys still reviewing the current Flash series? What do you think about season 8 so far since the 5-part Armageddon arc? Still reviewing it. I've been in and out the hospital, so I'm a little bit behind, but going to catch back up. Still watching it. I'm a couple episodes behind right now, but I plan on catching up tomorrow because I'm off work. Stuart said,
yeah, basically it's just been,
it went from,
the show's really just been going through the motions is all. It hasn't been like bad, but it hasn't been as impactful as like that opening was with Armageddon.
Yeah, it doesn't help that we have all these awesome like Disney Plus and shows coming up, you know, and they've been just doing amazing things with short runs. And we all talked about CW shows actually having shorter runs and not being as long as they are. So I just feel like they don't know what they want to do. And because I feel like it feels like the showrunners of The Flash had a heads up on what was going to happen, but didn't know what was happening. So they were writing this season in order to be able to know what, like, try to mesh it up. So if they knew they was going to have a full season next season, you know, like they were trying to just, let's make sure we have enough to do what we need to do. That's what it feels like so far to me. If just they had the perfect opportunity to kill Iris and killed the wrong character. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, at least for Danielle Panabaker, it's going to be like a lot easier for her now, because now she doesn't have to like do like 2 roles at the same time. I feel like that couldn't have been easy, and especially because like not that I had anything against Killer Frost, I actually really do like her as a character, but one problem with introducing her as now being in a separate body from Caitlin is that it really meant like Caitlin barely got that much screen time. And like when she was on screen, like 90% of the time she was literally just standing there, like barely doing anything. So I'm hoping that now with Killer Frost gone and you know, Danielle Panabaker still being a part of the show, it might mean like Caitlin gets more screen time. I'm hoping, you know, that's fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna see what happens, and I'm starting to feel like Caitlin's not gonna be there next season.
Honestly, I feel like I've been hearing rumors where it's like both her and I forget the actor's name, but the guy that plays Joe, I've been hearing like both of them might be not necessarily leaving, but no longer being series regulars.
Well, I know they came out and said Joe for a fact isn't going to be a series regular anymore. He's starting another show. There's another show that he's going to be on.
Okay.
And so it makes me wonder, like his wife, you know what I'm saying? Like what's going to happen to that dynamic? Because she seemed like she's really coming into her own on the show, you know? So like, does that lessen her role and what's going on? I mean, we'll get into it. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens, especially with everything going on with Stargirl. Now with all the shows gone, like it feels like we were going to miss out on all the Stargirl crossovers that we wanted.
I still think of an eventual crossover with the Flash is going to happen. At least I'm really hoping so, because I mean we got Jay Garrick on Stargirl, so let's just kind of just bring Stargirl onto the Flash for just, you know, a single episode is all we need.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it, man. But keeping with DC news, HBO Max has something going on right now.
Hang on. Sorry. Before we fully end Stargirl, something funny I got to point out about season 3 is that we got 2 new characters coming to the show, and both of them are Community actors, which I find funny because we got Starman, Joel McHale, who is of course the main character in Community,
right?
And then we got Mr. Bones, who's voiced by Keith David, who is also like on I think it was the very last season of Community. So if you guys like Community, come watch Stargirl season 3.
Yeah, and with Joe McHale being a series regular, like I said, it's gonna be funny seeing the staff try to decide between the 2 owners that it has and like where it wants to be. So it's gonna be pretty cool. But HBO Max, we finally got some information on the update for the filming start date, because HBO Max's Green Lantern Star provides update on filming start. I totally forgot that this was even gonna be a show. Warner Brothers has been attempting to bring DC's Lantern to the small screen for several years. Now with HBO Max series being in the works since 2019, it's been a minute. Updates surrounding the Green Lantern series are relatively few and far between in the years since, with only 2 cast members, Finn Wittrock as Guy Gardner and Jeremy Irvine as Alan Scott, have been publicly announced last year. In an interview with Metro Entertainment, Irvine revealed that there still isn't a firm start date for when the series will begin production, and that he hasn't gotten to try on the costume yet. I haven't tried yet, Irvine revealed. As far as I know, there's not a firm start date yet, but when they offered me the role, they did say it was going to be about 2 or 3 months before the outfit got made. Now they're going to have to try to fit my punch into it, because I guess now he has, the COVID tummy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if he's going to be able to fit the costume. Green Lantern will be set across multiple points in time and will star Wittrock, American Horror Story Deepwater as I don't know what's going on. I think I'm allergic to Green Lantern as Guy Gardner. And Irvine,
or it's just allergy season,
Yeah, and Irvine, Warhorse, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again as Alice Scott, with Tobias Menzies, Game of Thrones, and The Crown previously rumored to be trans Sinestro. The series is expected to feature Jessica Truz, Simon Biles, Killer Wog, and a newly created character named Bree Jarta. The show is executive producer run by Seth Graham-Smith and Mark Guggenheim. Yeah, the show is gigantic, Guggenheim-Smith explained in an interview in October 2021. It has taken quite a bit of time to get to this point, and it's just a big undertaking. It's going real well. All I can say is it's going really well, and there's going to be Green Lanterns in it, and it's going to be on HBO Max. So basically what they told us is absolutely nothing.
That's what I got from the article. I got that it was in development and it's still technically in the back burner, but like I don't think I really feel like with all the new management coming to Warner Brothers, I honestly feel like this is just very low priority for them. And it feels like anytime they're getting ready to finally give us a Green Lantern, they're always like way too afraid to pull the trigger on it, because I don't know if it's because they're afraid that like if they release another bad product, it might damage the Green Lantern as a whole, which I think just if you're really that afraid of it, you have shows where you can really test the waters if you want to. Like they kind of did it with the special effects during Stargirl, because I'm pretty sure like the reason they got the permission to use the Green Lantern green in that show was just so they can test out like what kind of VFX they might want to use for it. So they got to do that. As for like testing out what they want the suits to look like, if you have a couple of prototypes, maybe give that to the producers of The Flash and have Diggle finally put on the suit for the first time, which is something that fans have wanted to see. And if it looks cool, yeah, exactly. And if it looks cool on The Flash, if he pulls it off, then bring it back to HBO Max. If it looks terrible, I mean, it's The Flash, so I don't think it'll really damage any brand that I don't think DC should be worried about it damaging the Green Lantern brand as a whole.
I can see what you're getting at there, but I think it's just they don't know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, that
too. They don't know what they do. I think the Discovery deal could have something to do with it to slow it down on what's going on, and I still don't understand why they didn't pull the trigger on Diggle a long time ago. There's a bunch of different stories that you tell with Green Lantern characters, and I just feel like I don't want them to swing too big and miss, because swinging too big and miss could just ruin the character for the casual fan forever. And I don't want that to happen at all. I just don't know what to have them do or what to tell them to do other than to take their time, because it is a big undertaking. But I'm seeing shows like Lord of the Rings, prequels to Game of Thrones, and different stuff like that, which are huge undertakings being done well. I'm seeing other shows with heavy CGI like the Hulk, Moon Knight, you know what I'm saying, different stuff like that, doing very well. I just feel like they just need to pull the trigger and just go ahead and get it done. They have a good casting as far as it's going right now. It's just like I forgot they were even doing a Green Lantern show. I mean, we've been talking about this literally since they first announced it. It's 2022. It's been 3 years, and we still don't have a time or when they're going to start filming. Sooner or later, these guys are going to get too old to play these roles.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they want to do with that. If they put it out, I'm going to watch it. So I don't know.
Yeah, my biggest thing is I'm just done holding. I mean, not that I was ever literally holding my breath for the show, but I'm done like kind of getting hyped for it every time I hear news about it, because it's just that I really don't. I want to be wrong, but it really feels like the show isn't happening anymore. So I just kind of like my hype level is just kind of completely dissipated at this point.
No, I feel you on that. I'm not gonna get my feelings like until I see a trailer. I don't even want to see a teaser. Until I see a trailer for the show, I'm not even getting hype about it. Yeah. I'm just gonna hold out hope that they do it right. That's all we can do. Man.
Indeed. But it was actually kind of funny though, because I thought, I still remember back when Crisis on Infinite Earths was airing, and you had that one clip with the where they briefly showed the Green Lantern homeworld. There was like a part of me that was like thinking, oh wait, are these assets from the show? Like, is this meant to be like a tease as to what's to come with Green Lantern? Only to later realize, oh wait, nope, that was just stock footage from the Ryan Reynolds movie. Lame.
This is weird. You tell me. You tell me.
Same. I'm definitely an Android.
You tell me. I don't know. That was just I don't know why that question got out of all the questions everybody asking. That's the one that popped up and got my attention. I have no idea why. Now that we're done with the DC news, midweeks are quick, guys. We're not gonna be here for 3 hours, but we got some Marvel news for you. And Variety was talking to Letitia Wright, and she has something to say about Black Panther, which is weird because I thought she was in trouble and wasn't allowed to talk to the press. But
here,
Letitia Wright teases that Black Panther 2 as an incredible honor to Chadwick Boseman. This was an exclusive for Variety. Little has been confirmed about Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, but much has been discussed in the rumor mill regarding the sequel to Marvel's enormous hit Black Panther. Following the tragic death of star Chadwick Boseman, who passed in August 2020 after a private battle with colon cancer, various members of the Black Panther team have spoken about honoring Boseman's legacy in the second film. His role as T'Challa won't be recast, and the character will not be digitally recreated. Letitia Wright, who became a Marvel breakout with her performance in Black Panther, T'Challa's sister Shuri, is rumored to be taking up the mantle as the sequel's eponymous superhero. Even if that's not the case, Marvel fans expect Wright to have a larger part in the next film. The road to Black Panther sequel release has not been without headlines for Wright, who suffered an on-set injury, as was the subject of damaging report alleging that she was sharing anti-vax sentiments on Atlanta production and that her refusal to get vaccinated was posing problems for Marvel. Wright denied the rumors. She was touting an anti-vax position on set, calling a report about my conduct on set completely untrue. Production of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever was shut down for nearly 2 months after Marvel executives said that Wright sustained a shoulder fracture and a serious concussion on set. Now Wright tells Variety that the Black Panther team faced a lot of circumstances and difficult situations, but she is excited for fans to see how the sequel will honor Boseman's legacy. Letitia Wright reveals how We keep talking about that. You know what? I love variety, but I hate how they repeat the same thing 14 times before they get to where you're talking to the talking point. Speaking,
Hollywood Reporter and Variety both tend to do that a lot, and it sucks because they're also the ones where there's like a good chance that the source that they get is actually legit. They're like the easiest ones to like say if something's confirmed or not.
Yeah. Speaking on Sunday's evening at Correct's Women in Motion dinner at the Cannes Film Festival, that was a tongue twister. Wright teased Black Panther 2 and spoke about what she learned through the pandemic, though did not address and was not asked by Variety about her vaccination stance because it shouldn't matter. At Cannes, where Wright is with her film The Silent Twins, there were no COVID-19 protocols for vaccination, testing, or mask wearing. She said it was an incredible honor for Chadwick Boseman. It was jam-packed with exciting stuff. We honored him by committing ourselves to the story that he started, the legacy that he started with this franchise. And we just committed every day to working hard no matter what circumstances we face. And we faced a lot of circumstances, a lot of difficult situations, but we came together as a team and we poured everything into this movie. So I'm excited to see it. When asked what she learned over the pandemic, as her name became embroiled in the headlines and frequently discussed on social media, Wright said she was staying strong in what she believes in. I learned in life, you just had to keep going strong with what you believe in terms of your talent, in terms of your desire to impact the world with your art. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And I'm so proud of myself and the movie that's coming out this year. I'm so proud of it, she said. Black Panther Wakanda Forever will be released in U.S. theaters November 11th. Now, I want to ask you something because I don't think I've ever asked you this before. Are you part of the recast T'Challa movement?
Okay, I actually don't have an opinion one way or another. I think when it comes to this kind of thing, the person you want to consult is always like family members. So, like, for example, Rise of Skywalker. The reason I wasn't offended when they digitally recreated Carrie Fisher was because like it was Carrie Fisher's daughter who gave them like the go ahead, gave them like the okay, like said, hey, my mom would totally be fine with this, and I think it would be very honorable if you did that. With the Chadwick Boseman situation, I know absolutely nothing about what his family thinks about the issue, and I feel like if the family gave them the go ahead, we would have heard about it and we would have had either a recast Chadwick Boseman a recast T'Challa or a digitally recreated Chadwick Boseman, one of those two. But because we haven't heard anything from the family of their take on the whole thing, my assumption is that they're not okay with the idea of him being recast. And that's why Disney is going ahead and just passing the mantle down to someone else. So I support Disney in this decision personally from, what I'm assuming is going on behind the scenes.
I do know that the family doesn't want the character killed off. Mm-hmm. Like they don't want it to be, I know his brother came out and he was saying that they're still dealing with the death of his brother and they don't want to have to deal with that again by watching, the character that he played, that he loved, be killed off and having to, go through that emotion again and having it to happen. With that said, I don't think for this movie you have to recast T'Challa, especially with everything's going on with the multiverse and everything to get into. You can always bring him back later, but for this specific movie, I think it's better to honor him by those people that worked to build that first movie up with them. Let them have their chance to shine and show their love for him by bringing, their best selves to the forefront. And then later you could talk about, all right, we're going to bring T'Challa back and actually recast the role for him to come back, especially after a lot of this multiverse stuff ties up. And it'd be easier to explain than just trying to jump and do it now and give people time to, get over their feelings of what happened. I'm with the recast T'Challa movement. I just don't feel like it has to be done in Wakanda Forever.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't know with her vaccination stuff, with her coming out and said that she never said anything, and none of her castmates, anybody in the set coming out saying that she did anything like that. I don't think. I think it was just people chasing stories at that time because it was real on everybody who was anti-vax. and having somebody like her, if they can get her to back that type of movement, you know what I'm saying? It was a big deal coming off of, you know, this is the girl who starred in Black Panther, $1 billion, you know what I'm saying, grossing movie. It would have just been something that movie could have just, that movement could have just jumped behind. But I'm glad she came out, and I'm glad nobody's like testing her on what her stance on anything is, because your beliefs are your beliefs, and that's cool. And she seems like she's gotten over that hump of having to deal with that stuff.
Yeah, you know, like, obviously I personally do not agree with a lot of things that she said on Twitter. Like, you know, this was a while ago though. This was like before they had even started production with Wakanda Forever, and this is what I think started like the rumors of her being a pain in the ass on set. But like the biggest thing is that I keep hearing these from sources that aren't actually there. So I don't really know if any of that stuff is true about her refusing to get vaccinated for certain scenes that, you know, require vaccinations, refusing to wear masks, that kind of stuff. I don't know if any of that's true, only because like I've only been hearing it from sources that claim they know someone on set, and never by someone who's actually working on the set of Wakanda Forever.
Definitely. I don't know. I know I'm looking forward to this movie. This was one of my most anticipated. This might have been replaced with Thor because of the trailer. Mm-hmm. which you guys can check out my review of the trailer up right now. Go check out that Thor Love and Thunder. They look so much alike. Thor Love and Thunder trailer review. Go check that out. Yeah, Thor might be my most anticipated Marvel movie of the year now. Now that Doctor Strange is out the way, which I might be anticipating Thor more than I did at Doctor Strange since that trailer came out. It just looks really, really good. Francois says, speaking of Carrie Fisher, what do you think of when her younger Sled, she showed up in stock footage on CGI in Rogue One? Carrie was still around at the time.
I mean, yeah, it's just like in Rise of Skywalker when they use like a CG double for Luke Skywalker and Carrie Fisher, even though, you know, Mark Hamill was still around. It's like it wouldn't have made sense if they used like the older versions of them for a flashback that takes place that many years ago. So it, you know, it would have, you know, so it makes sense to me. Personally, like for me, what I kind of wish Star Wars would do, you know, and this may be considered a hot take, I'm not sure. I kind of wish they would just recast a lot of the actors with like a younger crew. So in other words, you know, if you're going to use Mark Hamill if you're going to use Luke Skywalker in like other Star Wars shows going forward, I feel like you should just have a younger guy. I know a lot of people want Sebastian Stan, which I'd be cool with because he looks a lot like Mark Hamill. But, you know, I think just they should start hiring kind of younger actors that look somewhat similar to the original characters, but they don't have to look exactly like them. Because, you know, you're telling a story. It doesn't necessarily have to be diegetically what the world looks like, because obviously, you know, when you look at Rebels, when you look at Clone Wars, when you look at, you know, the movies, they all have very different styles of telling their stories. Cause you know, two of those are cartoons, one of them's live action, but it's still all part of that same world. So it doesn't have to look exactly like the same to be connected. You can tell the story in different formats. So I really wish Disney would just kind of recast a lot of these characters if they wanted to use like younger versions of them, like they did with Han and Lando.
Yeah, definitely. And that was great casting, by the way, with Han and Lando. Yeah. Spot on. Do you think BP2, the opening scene, is T'Challa already dead, or will we see him in costume? Also, would this be better on par tribute to how Fast 7 tribute to Paul Walker? I don't think you're going to see T'Challa dead at all, again, because I don't think his family wants that. So I don't think they're going to kill the character off. I don't even think you'll see the character. I think the character will just be missing. Mm-hmm. Because this is the first Black Panther movie after the blip, you know what I'm saying, whatever, and it could just be something where nobody knows where T'Challa was at, you know what I'm saying, after he reappeared, because you would have reappeared the same thing, but what if somebody snatched him up? And then they could start a whole storyline with that. For all we know, he could be in Namor could have him, or you know what I'm saying, some other villain could have him, or he could have got snatched up by a version of Illuminati, you know what I'm saying, when he first came back. So what do you got?
Okay, so we know that Namor is rumored to be like an antagonist for Wakanda Forever, but not necessarily the villain. What if that is the plot. Like T'Challa has gone missing, and the breadcrumbs lead directly to Atlantis, and Namor is like the most obvious suspect. Like they make it so it's like very clear like he was responsible for it. But then, towards the end of the movie, we see like, he had absolutely nothing to do with it. I'm not sure how you would write that, because if you're not going to kill him off, and you also want to pay a really big respect to him. Let me just say this. I don't envy the writers, because this has got to be the most challenging movie to write for Marvel, honestly. So I wish them the best of luck. I'm excited to see how this is, but I think that could be an interesting direction they could take it in, if they want to have Namor as like an antagonist, but not necessarily as a villain.
I think Black Panther 2 will take place at least after Endgame. I don't know where it's going to be at in as far as the timeline or everything that's going, but it's definitely going to take place at the Endgame, because they set up the whole Namor thing itself in Endgame. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the rumblings under the sea and all that stuff. So we know at least it's after that. I mean, we know that Secret Wars takes place during the blip now.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
So it's going to be interesting to see where it takes place at. I think it might be more current than what we think what's going to happen. But I would say around maybe the time of Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We're going to get that, but it might be like before Doctor Strange. I'm so lost in where all these things fall time wise. I'm just waiting on somebody like E-Man or somebody just to make a timeline where everything's falling, you know what I'm saying, next to each other. But for all we know, Loki could have came and, you know what I'm saying, souped up Black Panther. There's so many different things they could do where somebody knows where he's going to reappear at, and they come and take him, and then he's missing. And then, like you said, they end up blaming it on Namor. They think the king is dead, but the king's not really dead. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just came and just scooped him up. That to me, that'd be the best way to honor him. You know?
Yeah. So, it's more like it's a good setup. My biggest thing is I don't know how you could conclude it though, on a positive note that pays tribute to him without killing him off, but also without showing him, I feel like that's where the real challenge would be.
Well, you can have a Okoye in them wanting to just kill Namor, and if Letitia Wright as Shuri does have a bigger role in the film, it could be her figuring out what happened and then having to play peacemaker, trying to stop a war that's going to destroy both, you know what I'm saying, both countries. Is it technically a country, or what is Wakanda? Is it
It's a country.
A country? Like, yeah. If they go to war, it's going to destroy Atlantis and Wakanda, you know what I'm saying? And she's trying to stop that because it's what her brother would do. You know what I'm saying? So that could be the whole. That'd be a cool basis and a good redeeming storyline also for Shuri. You know what I'm saying? Who could have stopped a lot of stuff if she would have just got that friggin' stone out of Vision's head quicker.
You know what also be kind of interesting now that I think about it is end credit scene where we get Storm from an alternate universe. And because it's like, multiversal travel and that kind of stuff, and time could move differently, it could be that he's been gone for like maybe a year in the MCU, but in Storm's world, wherever, universe she comes from, he's been there for like 20 or 30 years. And so he's kind of like, it's just become like his new life there. And so you get kind of like an off-screen explanation, like saying that, even though he's no longer with the MCU, he still lives on in another universe. And then you could pass the mantle from there too.
Yeah, that'd be really cool too. That'd be really dope. Well, we got one more story. We're making good time. We might be able to get you out of here on time, Stuart.
Yeah. And then I actually might be able to stick around for some viewer questions too.
Yeah. We got one more story, and it's not really a story as more as a commentary. Bruh, I was not a fan of the Top Gun, right? Trailer. I got tickets to go see it tomorrow. I'm gonna go see it. But this Mission Impossible trailer, bro, I'm not even a Mission Impossible fan. Well, I'm a huge Haley Atwell fan for obvious reasons. I am totally geeked to see this trailer, man. And I know we can't play trailers and stuff like that because of copyright issues. So I found somebody who wrote a review up on the trailer. And as we go back to Variety, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning trailer teases Tom Cruise's biggest stunts ever. Now think about this. Tom Cruise's biggest stunts ever, and he's doing Top Gun.
Mm-hmm. Where he's like an actual pilot in that movie.
Yeah. on the heels of Top Gun Maverick, another Tom Cruise action franchise is back with the trailer of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Dead Reckoning is the 7th entry in the spy thriller series, which stars Cruise as Ethan Hunt, a special agent of the Impossible Missions Force. The trailer shows the return of several Mission Impossible series cast members, including stalwart Vin Rames. Haven't seen him in forever. I'm so glad he's back. More recent additions, Simon Pegg, who is excellent, and Rebecca Ferguson, and Fallout star Vanessa Kirby. In addition, the trailer shows the return of Henry Czerny, who appeared in the original 1996 Mission Impossible as IMF director Eugene Kittredge, showing intense meeting between him and Cruise's Hunt. Your days of fighting for the so-called greater good are over, Cersei says to Cruise in the trailer. This is our chance to control the truth, the concepts of right and wrong for everyone for centuries to come. You're fighting to save an ideal that doesn't exist. It never did. You need to pick a side. Although the trailer doesn't reveal much about the plot, it provides our first look at several actors to the franchise, including the beautiful, world-stopping, heartbreaking Haley Atwell, as well as new character Grace, and Isa Morales is the film's primary villain. Several action set pieces are teased, including a sniper battle during a desert, a fist fight in a nightclub, and a chase atop a moving train. That train scene was crazy. The trailer closes with a shot of Cruise, famous for doing his own stunts in the franchise, driving a motorcycle off a cliff and skydiving into the air below.
Let me just say this. If I was ever working with Tom Cruise, like if I was directing a movie that he was in, I would force that dude to sign a waiver and be like, okay, I want it to be clear to everyone. You're doing these stunts because you choose to. I am not making you do these dangerous stunts. You're the one who wants to put your life at risk for, the art of cinema. I'm not forcing you to do these. Sign here right now, and then we'll get started.
I to be totally honest with you, I feel you on that. When I saw him like ride the motorcycle over the cliff and then like dive down and then like spread his arms out, I went, oh my God, I know he probably did that himself and I'm scared to death. He's alive, so it's cool, but what are you doing? He's like for real the last action hero, because the way he knows how to fly all those different planes for Top Gun to be able to do them stunts and the stunts he does here. And then I thought like the stunt for I thought the stunt for whatchamacallit in the car, we drive the car with Haley Atwell. I thought that was all CGI. But then when I went and saw the breakdown on Instagram of the different shots that they took, you know what I'm saying, and the type of camera they had in, it was actually him driving the car. I'm like, yo, I gotta see this movie. I gotta see this movie just to see, you know what I'm saying, how many times he came to killing himself. It's crazy.
And then, it's also funny kind of seeing the train fight, because if I remember correctly, there was something very similar in the first movie. So it's almost like, so in a lot of ways, it's almost like you're kind of like saying, hey, this is how far we've come. Remember how cheesy, I mean, not cheesy in a bad way, but, how old school the train fight felt in the first movie. Yeah, look at what it looks like now.
Yeah, that is nuts, man. And I have never looked forward never looked to go see a Mission Impossible movie. But for me, this is a day one go see. Like, I have to see this, and it's to the point now where I'm ready to go watch the other 6.
Yeah, I want to do that with Top Gun, because I haven't seen like the first one in a while, so I'm definitely going to be rewatching that before I watch Maverick. But yeah, I'm thinking like for Mission Impossible, I got to do like I did the same thing with James Bond, so I could easily do this with Mission Impossible because it's only like 6 movies. I really need to just like binge the entire series before going into this one.
Yeah, definitely. Adam, this has came know by Adam. He said, "Did you guys highlight Blue Beetle yet, or did I miss
think we
that?"
forgot to.
We forgot to, but I thought I saw in the chat that you wanted to do a separate video for it so we could skip it, so we skipped it. So I'm sorry, but if you want us to highlight it, there is a viewer question about it, and then, you know what I'm saying, we can go back and
I think don't we have like the photos up on here?
Yeah, I already had the photos and everything loaded up. It was already good to go. And then when I saw the message, I was like, yes, one less thing that I have to mess up. So It was all good. But speaking about viewer questions, it's 6:45. We got a good 15 minutes with Stuart to get him to answer some of your viewer questions. So why don't we go ahead and just get into that right quick?
All right.
Live viewer questions.
Oh no, here it is. Live viewer questions.
Pulled a couple from the email. Don't worry, guys. All your questions get answered. I talked to Stuart. We even talked about like just one-off answering the questions for you guys on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and stuff like that. Live, just talking to the phone. Just so we can get through more of y'all questions because you sent so many. It's like 30 questions. Jeez.
We gotta so like the format I'm thinking of doing like at some point, and I might try this next week. Like, so after Sunday, after our usual hero report, depending on how many questions we get done or not, I might just like kind of bring my phone with me, and then like on my way to work, like while I'm on the bus, I think I might honestly just answer the live viewer questions there. I don't mind being that crazy person on the bus that everyone looks at.
Yep. So let's get into the first question. This comes to us from Adam Pereira. Sounds familiar. What do you think of the Han Solo movie when it came out, and do you think it was a really bad movie or enjoyable?
I'm kind of glad you asked, because this is the movie that gets like I think the most mixed reactions from Star Wars fans, because some people either love it or hate it. I personally just really enjoyed it. Thought it was a lot of fun, and I'm sad that we don't seem to have a continuation with this act, unless the Lando series actually ends up happening. But currently, it feels like that's just in the back burner, and they're just kind of waiting until Donald Glover, that's his name, right? It feels like they're just waiting for him to finally have some free time to film it, but like it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon.
Now, isn't it like a final season of Atlanta or something like that? Isn't like Atlanta finna end?
Oh, if that's the case, then yeah, it makes total sense why he's not available for Lando yet. They're probably giving him some space to like finish his personal projects. And then once that's done, then we might finally get to see a continuation of Solo.
Yeah, I'm totally looking forward to that. I really feel like that movie was underrated. It had a lot of great characters in it, and it was just good acting. And I feel like it gets a bad rap for when it came out. I think it just came out at the wrong time. It got a lot of the hate coming from one of them movies.
It was like the last Jedi.
Last Jedi, yeah. It caught a lot of the slack from Last Jedi, but I enjoyed it. I really thought that and Rogue One were some of the best Star Wars movies of the past 10 years.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the fact that like now going forward, every Star Wars movie is basically just kind of a standalone spinoff. So we'll get more movies like that. But I do agree with you that I think the time of which they released it was really bad marketing on Disney's part. Like they really should have waited until December, instead of having 2 Star Wars movies within the span of 5 months. They should have like had it, go with the format that they had going originally, which was 1 per year. I think that worked really well. Oh, and I seem to have lost Indy. All right. Oh, wait, is he coming back? There he is.
Don't mind me. Cat walked across the board.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
I was like, oh, I didn't want to get canceled like the one girl who picked the cat up and like shook it and threw it. So I just let her walk, and then I just picked up, put her on the ground, but she walked and like exited me out. So I'm sorry, guys. Question number 2. Is it just me? But why does Wong from Doctor Strange always leave during the most critical moments? Does he really only use his powers to open portals? Luis Hernandez, 9510.
I don't know. I think like, okay, let's look at the examples that I think you're referring to. So, you first got him in Shang-Chi where he kind of appeared for a fight. And at that point, he had no idea what was going on with Shang-Chi. So, him leaving made no sense. And then he appeared at the end when he realized, oh, something big is going on and we need to, look into this. So, I wouldn't consider that like kind of like, just staying or leaving for the important part, and then the other time was Spider-Man. That was, again, he had no reason to believe there was going to be some big multiversal threat going on. So him leaving during that made sense. And, Doctor Strange, he was kind of being held hostage by this chaotic witch who's like probably the most powerful thing in the multiverse at the time. So, I think he does quite a bit with what he's given. I think they're gonna wait till he has like his own, because I'm sure we're gonna get like, I think Wong is too lovable of a character for him to not get his eventual like either solo series or movie. So I think they're just really kind of hyping him up for that inevitability.
Yeah, definitely. I think Wong, for one, guys, he's the sorcerer supreme. He has stuff to do. He can't just sit around and deal with what Stephen Strange is going to do. He doesn't want to be involved in any of that stuff. The fact that he comes back and grabs Shang-Chi and brings him into the room to talk to the people that he's in that room talking to is an important thing. I think they're placing him similar to what they did Nick Fury, and he kind of like feels like he's the Nick Fury of Earth right now, with our Nick Fury being in space. So it feels like he's getting everybody prepped for something's going to happen, because like I'm always saying, I feel like we're going to have a cosmic threat, an Earth threat, and a multiversal threat all going on at the same time, and you're going to have we're going to be fighting with different teams doing different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My bad, I went to go see what the questions were. Next question from Chris Crossman. You still in here, Chris? What is an issue that you have with film criticism? What annoys the heck out of you when you watch trailers for movies and TV series?
For the first part of the question, I get like, somewhat peeved when like you got someone who's going in only for the negative parts of a movie, but they ignore a lot of the kind of cool things that happened before. And it kind of reminds me of like, the angry video game nerd, how like he does everything negatively, but that's his character and it's done for comedy. But it feels like after he became really popular, that suddenly became like the popular thing to do, and you had people watching his videos not realizing that it was a joke, and then they started reviewing things the way the angry video game nerd, but doing it very seriously. And that's the kind of reviews that I don't like, is if you're just if you're doing like a cinema sins, but you're not doing it as a joke type of a thing.
Right. I think my thing is people who don't have a grasp of what they're watching, and they're just watching it because it was popular and judging it, without knowing, other things that happen around it. Like a lot of these film critics who say that superhero movies are, killing the industry, but not understanding how long it took us to get here, and the story, the story that's being told. Like they always say in wrestling, long-term storyline, the payoff is the big thing. And the fact that we're almost 30 something movies in, and now we feel like we're getting payoff every series. Like, something's happening. To me, it's great entertainment, and it's entertainment that we've been waiting on our whole lives. And I just hate when people criticize that when it's not their fandom. They're just trying to fit into something, and they're just trying to be the people who have something wrong with something because everybody likes something. That's what I hate. Now, as far as what annoys me the heck out of trailers, when they put something in the trailer that's not in the movie, annoys the crap out of it, because I'll be looking for it the whole movie and then it's not there.
Yeah, there's that. And then the other thing is when a trailer, which I think everyone talks about this, when a trailer shows too much. Like I kind of, after finally seeing, or after seeing Doctor Strange, I do think in retrospect they should not have put Patrick Stewart in the trailer. I think that was a really dumb idea.
Yeah, I think they should have kept him out, and that would have been a bigger surprise, especially with the X-Men theme and all that playing. I think it'd been something bigger, and then having him be a surprise, and then having Reed Richards be a surprise. Even having Black Bolt be a surprise, especially with Ansimon, having that reoccurring role. I think that would have been enough, but they showed so much. The problem was they showed so much in the trailer that people started expecting more.
Exactly.
And that's what happened with the movie. When they gave you plenty, they didn't have to give you what they gave you. They gave you plenty. The story for that movie was there when it comes to Scarlet Witch's motivation, Doctor Strange steadily making mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to realize why he wasn't the Sorcerer Supreme. It wasn't because of the blip. This dude is arrogant.
Yeah.
And so I understand what you're saying about it. They could have kept some of that and kept it for a surprise. Definitely. Next question is from John Schuyler. With there being a new season of Marvel's Daredevil for Disney Plus in the works, do you think it would be a continued story with the original series, or more like a soft reboot?
I think a little bit of both. I don't think they're going to ever directly say this is Daredevil season 4. I feel like it is going to have a very different tone and feel, but I do think that it is going to be, a full-on continuation. And I do think that, everything that happened before is going to be canon, but it's not going to be required viewing, if that makes sense. Like it'll be like WandaVision not being necessarily required for Doctor Strange, but watching WandaVision really gives you like kind of a better feeling going into Doctor Strange. It gives you that like a more emotional impact, but you could technically skip it and still understand like what is going on. I think that's what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. But when you go back and watch WandaVision, you get a more appreciation of what happened. You know what I'm saying? In the Doctor Strange movie, you don't have to watch them in order. You can go back and watch and be like, oh man, like she did go, you know what I'm saying, through the ringer, and I kind of understand why she was what she was. And people need to understand too, because that's another thing. There's a lot of people hating on her for like tripping out about her kids and stuff like that, and then they forget about the dark hole. Mm-hmm. Like it was the dark hole, you know what I'm saying, getting into her head, tempting her, messing with her emotions or what she do. That's why she wasn't thinking about her brother, thinking about Vision. It was tempting her to do what she wanted to do for whatever reason they wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying? The same reason why it's got the hold on Doctor Strange now. Go see the movies, guys, and stay. And it's 2 end credit scenes. Stay for both of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that seems to be like a lot of people who complained about that movie seem to leave out the Darkhold part of it. Like, they do directly say the Darkhold has a hold of her. They don't try to like act like, oh, nope, she's just a woman who can't control her emotions. It's like, no, they literally say, and that's why Doctor Strange, there was a lot of pushback to him specifically when he realized the Darkhold is his only way to defeat her, because when he had to stoop to her level in order to stop her, what immediately would happen is you had what's her name, Catherine, right? His love interest, being like, of course, you're just like all the other Doctor Strange, and being, understandably really pissed off at him.
Right. It's crazy. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, as we see, there might even be consequences for that at the end of the movie too.
Right. And Roberto, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I'll go ahead and throw your question up. With the situation going on with Austin St. John, we can't never get away with that Power Rangers question, right? Do you think this will make him not be able to return for the Power Rangers 30th anniversary, just like when he's acting just like Urza Miller?
That's 2 very different things.
One, he's acting nothing like Urza Miller. Urza Miller should be banned from the whole state of Hawaii. Get him off the islands. Like, he should be back home somewhere. Get him away from there. I have no idea why Warner is even still rocking with this kid. Just trash the movie, recast him, and redo the movie at this point, or just edit his parts out. We've seen it happen with Amber Heard. Just edit him out, put somebody else in, and just reshoot. I mean, if you cast the right person, you're guaranteed to make your money back. You just have to make sure your cast is right. But the thing with Austin St. John, like we was talking about earlier, I don't know if we was talking on air or off air about this, but he for one, he's innocent until proven guilty. 2, I believe he had nothing to do with the situation or didn't know about the situation because he's got people working with his money. And from the statement that was put out by his team, it does sound like he trusted somebody with money that did something. He didn't receive anything from the PPP scam. And that's what he has to go into court and prove, that it wasn't him that did it. Somebody did it in his name. And once he proves that, I mean, everything is on the table for what he does. Why would you stop one of the most, well, he's not the most popular because Marvelous is the most popular. Captain Marvelous is the most popular Red Ranger ever. Why would you stop him from attending these events and attending cons and stuff like that when he hasn't been guilty of any, anything to start off with, when there's other people who quote unquote have murdered people and was still able to go to cons and stuff like that. So don't contradict yourself. To actually throw your support behind Austin St. John, because there's a lot of people who went through this same thing that he's going through right now. It's just because they don't have the name that he has, they're not in the tabloids.
Mm-hmm. The other thing too, the biggest difference, and okay, so actually, first part I'm going to mention with this question is that I I think there's a good chance he won't, unfortunately, be in the 30th anniversary because, Power Rangers tends to film in New Zealand. And I think I was listening to the hashtag show. They mentioned this. He may not be allowed to leave the country because he's under investigation. So because of conflict and schedules, whether or not he's innocent or not, he just may not be able to, unfortunately, unless they can somehow kind of do like what they did in Forever Red with the Lost Galaxy Red Ranger, whose name I always forget, Leo. Like, unless they can film his scenes in front of a green screen and crop him in, which I think they could do if they're willing to. I don't think he's going to be able to. But the other thing I wanted to mention, again, with comparing with Ezra Miller, is that even if we're looking at the worst case scenario that Austin St. John is guilty of this, like let's say he knew everything what was going on. This isn't me saying he is. This is just me giving you a what if kind of scenario. If he is guilty, the thing is, his crime is like not justifying it, but it's something that, successful businesses do all the time. The difference is he got caught. A majority of people that are billionaires right now probably got there through fraud because, they're like, hey, it's only illegal if you get caught, and they got away with it. And I can guarantee you lots of big companies do that. But like the big thing is that it's not okay. Not saying it's okay, but it is victimless for the most part. Whereas Ezra has physically harmed people and straight up threatened them, with physical violence. So both emotionally and or both mentally and physically, he has actually harmed people. So that's like the other big difference between the two of them,
Definitely. Man, I don't know. I just need Urza gone.
Yeah, at this point, it's like, I get why they can't recast them because of the new Flash movie already being like done filming. So I get why they can't do it in the movie, but like going forward, they should not be in any future DC projects going forward, to my opinion.
Definitely. Now, before we get out of here, we're going to do something so that Adam doesn't yell at us in the chat right quick. Leaked photos of Zolo. Full blue Beetle garb. You know what I'm saying? The movie is in full turn. I actually can't wait to see this. I don't know how I feel about. I know it's like a practical suit, and they had like CG and stuff to do to it. So I don't know how I feel about this because I'm a Guyver fan, so I'm holding this to like Guyver standards, which is probably not high standards, but still. We got pictures of Zolo in his Blue Beetle costume. I have to say, to be totally honest with you, this looks like Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
So props to whoever made the costume. It looks really good. And Zolo looks swole because that don't look like a muscle suit. You know what I'm saying? That looks like it's a tight suit and that boy is actually filling it out. I want to know how this I can picture this now. He just had the suit, or he's just learning it, trying to fly, and something goes wrong and argue with the suit that just drops down on top of a car.
That's what it looks like. Honestly, that's probably exactly what happens in this scene.
And then he gets mad and kicks the car.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to see this movie, man. He looks like he's having a ball. Looks good too. Can't wait to see if he's gonna be back in I can't wait to see if he's gonna be back in what is the name of that show?
Cobra Kai?
Cobra Kai either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him in Cobra Kai. I can't wait to see this. I'm really excited that he got picked to do this because he was perfect for the role and he was campaigning for it to get it too. So it looks really, really good. I mean, what are your thoughts on the suit?
I think the suit looks incredibly badass. I love the Guyver comparison because I can totally see that. The only like kind of nitpick I have, and again, it's like these are set photos, and like you mentioned earlier, it'll probably not only will it be more enhanced in CG, but also like when you look at it through the lenses that they're filming it in. Obviously, the suit isn't meant to be looked at through the lens of a phone. It's meant to be looked through the lens of a whatever kind of camera they're using. I'm assuming like probably a Series Red or something like that, but that's what it's meant to be looked at through that kind of a lens. So I think, when you actually see it and when they, actually film it in the right, like kind of lighting and everything, it's going to look fantastic. I think overall, just as it is, I think it's cool. My only real nitpick is that, let me go here. Yeah. The kneecaps do seem extremely uneven, but I feel like that's something you can adjust when you're about to shoot every, shot, basically. I feel like it might be one of those things where they have to readjust the costume for every frame or for every shot they're about to do. And assuming that that's what they do, I think it'll look a lot better in the actual movie itself. But I think this is a fantastic costume. And like you said, I think the actor they chose is perfect for the role. He, despite being, I think, at least like 18 or something at this point, he still looks really young. So I can totally buy him as like a 16-year-old high schooler if that's the age range that they're going for. And in a lot of ways, this is, I feel like, going to be like DC's Spider-Man movie. It's going to be very similar in tone, it looks like, to that Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland. So I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait for this. That's probably the DC movie that I'm waiting on more than anything. Like I'm not even worried about the Flash movie. Like this is my thing. This and the Static Shock joint are the two movies. I was hyped for Santana, but we all know what's happening with that. So
with JJ like kind of leaving DC, I feel like they're once again putting like a big pause on everything DC related. I keep seeing news about JJ working on projects not related to DC, and it makes me think that whole Justice League Dark series that they had, I don't think that's happening anymore.
Yeah,
just like Green Lantern.
Yeah, just like Green Lantern. While we're still waiting. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in today, man. Definitely appreciate you guys coming in midweek. This is something that are we supposed to be doing this regularly?
I'm not sure, but if we do it again, then I'm totally down. Hopefully I won't have work next week, but I'll keep you guys posted.
Yeah, definitely. I'm normally off by 4 on Wednesday, so it's definitely something we could do. Don't forget to submit your live questions to aplusopinions@gmail.com. We will get to your other questions. Stuart, all you have to do is let me know which ones that you answer, and I'll answer the other ones live, either on Instagram or Facebook. We'll keep you guys tuned. Maybe I'll do Facebook and you do Instagram.
Yeah, that could work. Or actually, yeah, I think I could do that.
Yeah, and we'll do it like that or something like that and get it going. I can't wait to be back with you guys on a Sunday, but until then, hey, I'm happy to be here on Wednesdays with everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us here at A Plus Opinions. Also, follow Anime Assembled over on Instagram. You can follow me too on Instagram at Nerd Mix. New episode of Anime Assembled going up Saturday. Hope you guys enjoy. I really don't have too much more to say. I don't know how to close this because Adam always says it.
Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, but above all, keep it A+.
What he said. See you guys later.